After the Supreme Court recommended that the Parliament enact a separate law for lynchings, Home Minister Rajnath Singh putting the onus on state governments, advising them to take strict action to prevent incidents of lynching.
We saw a statement from the Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh saying that the government is concerned. Clearly, it was not enough to placate the agitated members. There was also a demarcation that the Home Minister made pertaining to how instances that have happened thus far fell within the realm of various state governments.
Making a statement in the Lok Sabha, the Home Minister asked social media service providers to install checks to stop the spreading of rumours and fake news, even as he reiterated that law and order is a state subject.
सभी सम्मानित सदस्यों को इस बात की जानकारी होगी, इस प्रकार की मॉब लिंचिंग की जो घटनाएं होती हैं, अध्यक्ष महोदया, अफवाहों के आधार पर होती हैं, संदेह के आधार पर होती हैं, अनवेरिफाइड जो फेक न्यूज़ होती हैं, उनके कारण भी इस प्रकार की घटनाएं होती हैं.
As the Home Minister put the ball in the state government's court, Mirror now asks, whose responsibility is it to clamp down on mob violence? The debate begins.
Just today, news came in from Rajasthan of two people who were transporting cows for a dairy farmer, which is transport as they were driving a truck. They were stopped and beaten up by so-called Gorakshaks. A couple of days ago on this very show, we talked about how the Supreme Court took note of the lynching problem in our country and made no small problem of the fact that our central government had not taken it into consideration, had not formulated a law, and the court had given explicit instructions to the central government to design a law that will put a stop to this sort of behavior. So I don't understand then how the Home Minister, Mr. Rajnath Singh, has gone out and made a statement that there isn't need to be a law, that this is a state subject, that the central government has nothing to do with it. Did Mr. Rajnath Singh misunderstand the Supreme Court? Or Mr. Rajnath Singh misunderstand lynching altogether? Or are we seeing another instance of the fact that the government refuses to take a tough stand and refuses to put a stop to this behavior that breeds nothing but fear? Joining me on the show today, Rohan Gupta for the Congress Party, Anand Sahu, leader with the BJP, Ellen Rao, former DCP Special Cell Delhi Police, Leher Sethi is the Secretary of the Indian Council for Human Relations, Nadeem Khan is a member of United Against Hate, Gautam Mukherjee is a senior journalist. I welcome all of you to this conversation and thank you for joining us. I'm going to start with Mr. Anand Sahu of the BJP. Mr. Sahu, we're all fully aware of what the Supreme Court asked the government to do. It asked Parliament to come up with a special law to deter lynching. Is it rational now for the Home Minister to turn around and say this is not really a problem, it's something for the state governments to look at? Did the Home Minister fully understand what the central government, what the Supreme Court said?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, Supreme Court of India has directed to form a new law regarding mob lynching, but still there are many laws regarding this kind of mob lynching and policing act are there, but still the Home Minister has said that already in the year 2016 and in this year also the government has issued advisory to all the state government to take the serious action regarding all these issues. But more than that, I think this kind of mob lynching needs the technology rather than just simply identifying. Because after the all kind of mob lynching, if any action is happening, there is no use because the people are killed. So I think we have to think how to minimize all this kind of mob lynching, and majorly like cow vigilant, they are creating a lot of problems. So government has directed all the state government to take the serious action, and many of them are getting arrested. I think this is the first time
Mr. Sahu,
the government is
Mr. Sao,
Yeah.
many of them may be getting arrested, but many of them are also being garlanded by members of your party, by sitting union ministers. What sort of a message does this send out?
See, actually as you see, many people, they get arrested, but some of them are not, directly linked to this kind of mob lynching, but since they are into some kind of position in doubt, they are being arrested, and later on they are released. So many kind of cases are like that, where identification is,
Mr. Sahu, here's my question to you. Here's my question to you. One second.
Some kind of,
Here's my question to you. These
tell me,
individuals who have been garlanded by Mr. Jayant Sinha, is it not true that their defense was paid for by the members of the BJP?
No, we can't call it. We can't call it that it is a direct defense. See, first of all these people, they should be, have the kind of any witness and foolproof kind of judgment from the court that they are purely culprit on these kind of issues. Then, if anybody is meeting, then you can say it is a complete wrong, and what kind of message anybody is giving. But now anybody can be arrested. How it is happening? You know, now in India, many where, not only in Jharkhand or maybe Maharashtra, but you see last 3-4 months back in Maharashtra and even Rajasthan also, severe cases has been registered, and the government has directed to register the case and take the action very seriously. So government motto and the transparency is more. So more number of cases are coming at this time.
Right.
Previously, there were cases not registered.
Mr. Gautam Mukherjee will respond to you.
Mr.
Gautam Mukherjee will respond to you. But I just want to point out to our audience, when the whole garlanding fiasco happened with Mr. Jayant Sinha, other members of the BJP in Jharkhand took offence, not because he was garlanding people who had been convicted of lynching an individual, but because he was taking credit for their defence when there were other members of the BJP who were actually paid for the lawyers to get these people out of jail. Mr. Gautam Mukherjee is a senior journalist. Gautam Mukherjee, how are you reading into what the Home Minister responded today, or how the Home Minister responded today in Parliament? The fact that he turned around and said this is a state problem.
Obviously, he downplayed it. You could have a lynching law specific with very strong punishments, as you had, for example, with TADA for terrorism. But obviously, he doesn't want to go that way. Instead, he's playing the card of it being a state subject. Having said that, to give some credence to what he's saying, I think it's an enforcement problem where it smacks of collusion at the local level. And I don't know how much of this is to do with cows or anything of that sort, and how much of it is a cover for settling scores, which is amongst rivals and petty sort of enmities at the local level in the villages. This is what happens. They come up with something which provides us an umbrella cover.
No, hang on. Mr. Gautam Mukherjee, let me correct you there. These instances have not all taken place in villages. They've happened in cities like Bangalore, for example. They've happened all over the country. There's something seriously wrong. And I refuse to believe that our government doesn't have the ability to look into a trail of WhatsApp messages to find out if the source of all of these messages is in fact the same.
What I'm trying to say is that even within a metropolitan area like Bangalore, you've got what is city and what is sort of countryside near the city. So you've got this kind of thing is not going to happen, involving cows and so forth in downtown Bangalore. It is going to happen on the outskirts. And there is collusion that seems to be fairly sort of clear to sort of assume, because there is no way these people are emboldened enough to go and kill someone without some kind of official backing, tacit official backing.
Rohan Gupta of the Congress Party, go ahead, please.
See, it is really shameful for this government to shy away from their responsibility. We saw a statement of Home Minister today, and clearly he is not obeying rule of Supreme Court. And I agree with the gentleman when he was saying, I see serious lack of intent and lack of ability on part of this government to stop this kind of incidents, because some way politically it suits them. Suppose it's his name of cow, you know, they could have set precedent by taking very, very strong action in past. Because unless and until there is a tacit motivation to this mob, they will not have courage to do this kind of things again and again. Why this was not happening in past, why this is happening now? And the way government is clearly saying that it's a responsibility of state, this kind of people will get more motivation to do these things.
Let me bring in the other members of my panel right now. Leher Sethi is the Secretary of the Indian Council for Human Relations. Leher Sethi, do you believe our Home Minister should have taken a stronger stand?
You know, this is, on the last debate also I said, I don't know how many debates we're going to have on this. Every time there is a case like this where, you know, mob lynching happens. I was reading about Swami Agnivesh. I happened to meet him and I saw what happened to him. Suddenly there is this whole wave of, you know, trying to justify mob violence, which is in no way legal. So our Honorable Home Minister, saying that the states are responsible for this is highly irresponsible on his part, because I don't know what's happening. You know, it's like the judiciary and the Supreme Court, the laws that are being flouted openly by ministers themselves, it's sending out a very, very wrong signal. So whatever is happening is, it's actually very, very scary.
And finally, Mr. L.N. Rao, former DCP Special Cell, Delhi Police. Mr. Rao, here's the question. Our Home Minister is of the opinion that we have enough laws, that in contrary to what the Supreme Court instructed, that we don't need a new law on hate crimes, or in this case, what is known as lynch mobs. Do you agree with him?
No doubt this new law is not required at all, because the law is already in existence. Just it's required that the political will should be there to implement these directions of the Honorable Supreme Court. And the Honorable Supreme Court has very clearly identified this, the issue, and they have clearly directed to all the governments. It's saying that it's a state subject. No doubt law and order is a state subject. But at the same time, Centre has also to put in their step that these instructions should be followed with very letter and speed, and nobody should be spared. And one thing I must tell you, unless and until someone will be hanged as directed by the police, someone will not be given a death penalty, this problem will not going to solve, because the people will only be understood, they will be understanding that if someone can be hanged for this mob lynching, then they will definitely do their preventive actions, and the law enforcement agencies will also adhere to that. And more important thing is that the investigation part, it should be meticulously investigated. Such type of cases should be seriously investigated, and the proper evidence should be brought on record, so that during trial nobody can escape, and this should be an exemplary
punishment. You believe it's not happening
others,
right now,
so
Mr.
Rao? Nobody else should.
You believe it's not happening right now? You said there are enough laws, but we are not implementing.
This is the problem right now. This is the problem right now. Right now, this is the problem. The investigation is not properly done, and the courts are their hands of the courts are tied, because without any evidence they cannot punish anybody. And if the investigation is done properly, and the trial is also done meticulously, and trial is followed up to the end, and the persons who are actually involved. Not I am saying that the false person should not be involved. The persons who are actually enrolled, their case should be decided up to the end, and the early trial, quick trial, and the early disposal of all these cases should be done. There should be a priority trial in this case, and the special courts have already been set up, and the directions of the Supreme Court should be meticulously followed by both the governments, Centre as well as state. And after that, only the situation can be reformed. And this is a very serious cases for the society as a whole, and in the country we are ashamed of such type of incidents, because anybody can be a victim of such type of mob lynching. This is very shameful for our society
Nadeem
and
Khan
the
is a
nation.
member of United Against Hate. Mr. Khan, do you believe that the lynching targets any one particular community? Do you believe it's the central government not doing enough? Or is it a larger, careful plan?
And the thing is like that, earlier state was not doing their duty, so we hope the Supreme Court will come up with some kind of judgment and some instructions. Supreme Court had given instruction to the central government, and central government is now saying again it's the work of the state. So we have started from the failure of state to Supreme Court to central government, and central government to again back to the square on states. And as Mr. Rajnath Singh, the Home Minister, had said it today, कि ये चीज़ें पहले भी होती थी, पुरानी सरकारों में भी होती थी, तो the statistics and data are very clear. 97% incident have been happened after the coming of BJP government. At the rule of BJP government 2014 to till date, 97% cases, the 70 deaths have been done, and 98 deaths जो हैं वो इस regime में हुई हैं. And today, when he is saying that it is the role of the state, then the role of the center is garlanding the accused. My dear friend have told that some people have been is not accused due to some not fair inquiry. उनका नाम आ जाता है, because of that वो अरेस्ट हो जाते हैं. तो in the case of Alimuddin's death, 2 days back, a day before yesterday, I was with Alimuddin's family in Ramgarh, Jharkhand. I have met with them. तो रामगढ़ के इंसिडेंट में लोअर कोर्ट का जजमेंट आ चुका था. लोअर कोर्ट के जजमेंट में ये सारे लोग एक्यूज थे, लाइफ टर्म इनको हो चुका था. उसके बाद उनको बेल मिला है, और बेल ऑर्डर भी मेरे पास है. इफ़ यू विल फाइंड द बेल ऑर्डर, इट इज़ नॉट वेरी गुड बेल ऑर्डर. उन्होंने कुछ एविडेंस के बुनियाद पर उनको बेल मिला है. तो बेल मिलने वाले अपराधी को, बेल मिलने वाले एक्यूज को आप किस तरह से सेंटर का मिनिस्टर उसको गॉरलैंडिंग करता है, इससे जो विक्टिम का फैमिली है उसके मोरल लेवल की क्या पोजीशन होगा. जब हमने डे बिफोर यस्टरडे व्हेन आई हैव स्पोकन विद द मरियम, द वाइफ ऑफ अलीमुद्दीन, जिसका ये केस था, उसने कहा जब हमारे शहर का लोकसभा एमपी और मेंबर ऑफ द पार्लियामेंट एंड मिनिस्टर अगर इस तरह से एक्यूज के साथ खड़ा होगा तो हम अपने न्याय की तो उम्मीद आज खो बैठे हैं. ये उनका स्टेटमेंट था. तो किस तरह से लोगों को जस्टिस मिलेगा. और मैं हमारे जो साथी पैनल में डीसीपी राव साहब हैं, उनकी बात से 100% एग्री करता हूं, क्योंकि मैं अभी पिछले लास्ट वीक में आई वाज इन लातेहार, आई वाज इन जमशेदपुर, एवरीवेयर इज देयर कि पुलिस ने बेसिक इन्वेस्टिगेशन ही नहीं किया है. तो लॉ आप कोई सा भी बना दें, अभी भी आईपीसी में 302 में कैपिटल पनिशमेंट मौजूद है. इन केस ऑफ हापुड़ एंड इन केस ऑफ ये कर्नाटका में बीदर में अभी जो लिंचिंग हुआ है, इट्स अ क्लियर कट केस ऑफ मॉब लिंचिंग. और उसमें 30, जबकि मैंने इससे पहले भी आपके चैनल में कहा था, हापुड़ में जब मॉब लिंचिंग हुई थी, मैंने एसपी साहब से बात करी और एसपी साहब से कहा कि आपने तो मॉब लिंचिंग को रोड रेज का इशू बना दिया है. तो उन्होंने कहा 302 तो इसमें भी लग जाएगा, 302 उसमें भी लग जाएगा. 302 लगा दिया, बाकी आप आगे देखते हैं. तो प्रॉब्लम इज दैट, या 1 second.
Is there a need of a law against hate crimes? हमारे देश में hate crime के खिलाफ कोई law नहीं होता.
मैं उसी में आ रहा हूँ. I am coming to the point. There is a need of the fast track court. There is a need of the investigation agencies should be monitored by the Supreme Court. The local agencies and the local police had been influenced by the political parties. So there is a need of the investigation. Some kind of SIT should be formed. Some kind of the independent judicial committee should be formed. And some तो जो भी investigation agencies है वो Supreme Court को report करे, क्योंकि local police कहीं पे भी जो है वो victims के साथ नहीं खड़ी रही, बल्कि वो हर जगह बायस रही. लातेहार में मैं 2-3 दिन पहले था. लातेहार की आपको लिंचिंग याद होगी, 2 लोगों को पेड़ से टांग दिया गया था. आज 2 साल हो गए हैं. 2 साल होने के बावजूद भी जो प्राइम एक्यूज था वो अभी तक गिरफ्तार नहीं हुआ है.
देखिए, I want to take this question back to Mr. Anand Sahu. Mr. Anand Sahu, in January this year, the Supreme Court issued a notice to 3 states, Haryana, Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh, all ruled by the BJP, on a plea seeking contempt petition because the states failed to comply with the Supreme Court's order on lynching. They failed to take any action. After that, we've had an order this week, and still the central government seems to think that palming off the problem to the state governments is the right solution. Again, we have had a problem in Rajasthan just today. So what is really going on, Mr. Sahu? Does the BJP not want to stop lynching? Is that really the truth? Because obviously it doesn't seem like you are serious about it.
It's very sad, and what kind of the news people are trying to spread, the intellectual and beyond intellectual and all kind of people. I am really very sad, because the Honorable Prime Minister of India, he has already expressed many times about this, and he has also instructed all the machineries, including central government and state government.
But nothing has stopped, Mr. Sahu.
Completely matter of state government.
It has not stopped.
Every time, I am telling you, every time. Let me complete. You see, now gentleman is telling the government is not doing anything. See, government, it's a federal structure. When central government is entering into the state government,
what are you doing?
See, Mamata Banerjee, how she is killing our workers. There no more.
Hang on. What is this? So bring a law.
See,
no, so hang on. Why are you bringing up? Why are you bringing up more hate?
See,
can I say something?
I'm telling you. See, I will tell you how things are getting projected, and this is unfortunate.
So Mr. Anand Sahu, if Parliament were to bring about a law against lynching and hate, wouldn't that also apply in West Bengal against those people who are hurting your party members? You are pointing out right now that you are saying BJP party members are being hunted down in West Bengal. If you wrote a proper law, it would apply to those cases as well.
See,
why aren't you working on a law is my question. The Supreme Court has asked the government to work on a law. Why are you making excuses?
Is it about BJP?
We are ready. You
Sir,
know.
by screaming, what are you trying to prove?
It's the first time this after these all things, the Supreme Court also has taken many things, and it is like now for the Parliament of India to decide, because all party should decide about this law. It's not like
you have a full majority in Lok Sabha. Write the law first. Have you worked on a law? Do you have a law? Do you have a draft? Do you have a bill? What do you have?
Whatever the act we are bringing, everything is turned down. Most of them are in Rajya Sabha.
He hasn't done his homework well.
Talaq, how they have dealt.
No, hang on. Anand Sahu, stick to the point. All right, Leher Sethi. See, Anand Sahu, you don't have a draft, you don't have a bill, you have a Home Minister who's making excuses.
Can I intervene?
Leher Sethi, please. Leher Sethi will speak first.
Can I intervene?
One moment. Leher Sethi will speak first.
You know, the problem is that every time there is a problem, every time there is something that comes up of national importance, what the ruling party does is politicize the matter. Firstly, mob lynching is wrong. Let's all accept that. Let's stop passing the buck and saying, oh, this happened in the time of Congress also, or that happened at this time or that. And sir, I'm sorry, by screaming, by screaming your lungs out, sir, you're not going to prove a point. Let me finish, please. I'm trying to talk. I'm trying to say something here, sir. What is the general perception of the public now is that there is no law and order in the country. Anybody can be attacked at any point in time. A person does not feel safe, and that is how it is. And by your ministers garlanding people who are out on bail, or by your ministers, the recent case of the Jharkhand minister who said that Swami Agnivesh is a fraud, Baba and whatnot, instead of condemning the people who hit him, who came out and did something that was absolutely unconstitutional and illegal against him, they are trying to pass the buck around again. How can you justify this, sir? And by raising your voice, you're not proving a point. I'm sorry.
Madam, you know, whole government and Honorable Home Minister, Mr. Rajnath Singh ji, he has already condemned in the House. Not only him, whole ministry, all leaders, everybody.
What condemn?
People
one second.
See, in the
what by condemnation the issue will be resolved.
Who are all the
this government is only condemnation government. You are not capable to run this country.
Most of them in our party, we hate all these things. We never given any kind of support.
So tell me something. One second, Mr. Sahu, the BJP youth wing members who beat up Swami Agnivesh yesterday or day before yesterday, what action has the BJP taken against the people who have beaten up Swami Agnivesh?
You are felicitating the people who are doing mob lynching.
One second,
How
Mr.
can you impose law in country?
Mr. Sahu, What action has the party taken against those who were present during the mob attack against Swami Agnivesh?
See, it's all everything you know. All happens, the incidents, most of the time, after the incident only the people they reach there. It's not anything. And
this is not a Hindi film, Mr. Sahu, where the police will arrive late.
Just kindly bear with me, please.
So there have been multiple incidents when the police has been present on spot and has not stopped the cases of lynching.
No, Mr. Sahu, go ahead. People arrive
whatever
late.
you said, you just tell them. I will not tell anything. Okay.
Could I intervene?
Just I want to add one thing.
Let Mr. Sahu finish speaking, please.
Honorable Supreme Court of India.
I want to intervene here.
Just let me complete one word. You all intervene. Just let me complete one line. Honorable Supreme Court of India says something about the reservation and one time about this,
for you, everything is politics.
के सपोर्ट में जो लॉ है, जो FIR होता है, how the FIR happens. If anybody is abused, any Dalit is abused, the FIR has to happen. See, one second, I am telling. The Supreme Court says, if any case is registered, let the police inquire and arrest them. This is the difference between the line of the Honorable Supreme Court, and immediately whole opposition, all their fuel.
What is your point, Mr. Sahu? Mr. Sahu, what's your point?
What is he talking about?
One second, Mr. Sahu, you are diverting from the topic.
What is happening?
Sahu, why are you
What is happening? Such a
Mr. Sahu, all right, I heard you out. Mr. Sahu, you are not answering our questions specifically. Here are the questions that Mr. Sahu and the BJP have to answer. First of all, everybody, just give me a moment's silence. Stop screaming together. We cannot understand you if you speak one over each other. Here are the questions that the ruling government needs to answer. Question number 1. It is reported that those who beat up Swami Agnivesh this week were members of the BJP youth wing. What action has been taken against them by the party? Have they been removed from the party? Has the party publicly condemned this? Why has no one from the party mentioned this lynching at all? Secondly, 3 states that are run by the BJP. One second, let me finish asking my question. Rajasthan, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh have been...
From your TV channel, I condemn this. Anybody from BJP or any worker,
you take action, don't condemn.
To do this kind of,
but you are not the Home Minister of this country.
And I am telling you,
all leaders. While I appreciate your condemnation, my second question to you is this. One second.
And what else you want? You are telling here nobody has condemned. What is this?
Has the Home Minister condemned? Has the Prime Minister condemned? Have any of the union ministers condemned?
Everybody is condemning, ma'am. Ma'am, everybody has condemned. I am telling you, this is the fact. And still you want the state government has already issued.
Who has condemned? Everybody, show me the quotes. Who has condemned?
Take the action. Why they are not taking action for that also? Already action
Why
is taken.
Why is the police
also.
not taking action? You're actually asking me that question. I don't run the police.
Already they
I'm not
taken
the Home
action.
Minister.
Many of them are arrested.
My next question is, you keep talking about condemnation, but despite all of the condemnation that has come from the government, the lynching has not stopped. Why? If the lynching has not stopped, obviously the various acts of condemnation that you're talking about, that so-and-so condemned and that person condemned, means absolutely nothing. There needs to be stronger action taken. The police needs to be either empowered, or those police who are corrupt need to be removed. When will you get around to doing this? Has there been a central government-led investigation into the WhatsApp messages that have led to the lynching? Why haven't we had an investigation? And if we've had an investigation, what is the findings of that investigation? The Home Minister today palmed off the responsibility to the social media arm, saying you should regulate your own. How convenient to ask for self-regulation on WhatsApp when we know that there is a problem here. Do you actually expect us to believe that the government of India cannot get to the bottom of a WhatsApp message? Where is your political will? These are the questions we have to ask and answer today. Mr. Ellen Rao, we had the Home Minister today say that social media platforms need to self-regulate.
Then shall I reply now?
Okay, go on. Reply Mr. Sahu and then Mr. Rao will speak. Mr. Sahu, go ahead.
See, in more than 75% cases were registered, people are arrested, and many cases. And first of all, in this government, I will tell on record that the government of India has issued an order and advisory also to register the case immediately and take the action. Don't wait for anybody to just call or influence or do anything.
Action.
Because
condemnation is not the action.
And Prime Minister
advisory is not the action.
Already
is not the action. You have to take action.
Already action is being taken.
When 90% of mob lynching, BJP is involved, how can you take action? When your central minister is felicitating the lynchers, how can you take action?
I will tell you, if you
when
trust
BJP
the whole country is
doing
BJP,
lynching, how can you take action?
I am very happy
You
today
cannot take action
that whole country,
because it suits you
anybody,
politically.
you can put the name on BJP.
All right, gentlemen, you're speaking at the same time and I cannot understand you.
As it
All right,
suits you.
one second. Let me take this question to Mr. Ellen Rao. Gentlemen, 1 minute. 1 minute, please. 1 minute. Mr. Rao,
that whole country is BJP.
1 second, Mr. Sahu.
I can't hear anything.
That's a very good point. Yes, Mr. Rao, can the government, is it fair for the government to palm off the responsibility of regulating WhatsApp messages to WhatsApp, saying that you should be careful?
This is the prime responsibility of the government to stop such type of incidents. Only condemning and in certain incidents, condemning by the government or by anybody else will not suffice the purpose. We need to have a political will and a concentrated efforts by all of us, not only with the government, but the society as a whole should also learn to behave in a civilized society. These type of incidents are barbarous and cannot be accepted by anyone. Any civilized society cannot accept these incidents, and the politics has to come heavily on this, and the law is already in place, and only the question is that the proper investigation, speedy trial and justice should be done as quickest as possible. Only condemning will not be serving any purpose for this such type of incidents.
Nadeem Khan, should the government get to the bottom of these messages?
Actually, जो अभी condemning का बात चल रहा है, people are talking about the condemning. 60% incident reported, mob lynching incident reported from the BJP ruled state. So they will condemn it or they will do something. First of all, in case of Akhlaq's lynching time, there was no use of WhatsApp, there was no use of social media. So what kind of the talk you are going to discuss it? In case of the Akhlaq's time, Mahesh Sharma was there, the accused on the bail, they got the job in NTPC. Yashwant Sinha is garlanding the accused of Yashwant Sinha's son Jayant Sinha, garlanding the accused of Alimuddin's lynching incidents accused. In case of Godda lynching, where the two people have been lynched in Godda 2 months back, where Mr. Dubey, the BJP parliament member, is defending the accused. In case of the Junaid's lynching, additional advocate of Haryana government was helping the accused on the courtroom. It's reported in the court's in the court's document. In case of we are talking about the government's power investigation agency new law. In case of Jamshedpur, 4 people have been lynched in last 6 months back, when 1 jeep have been burned and 2 or 3 police persons got some minor injuries. In that case, judgment have been delivered 4 years prison for 7 people or 6 people. But in case of the 4 people lynching incident, 4 people have been killed on that incident. None of the hearing have been done on that particular case. Why? Because there is a, if you want to see, I can show you the FIR, you will find the FIR, then you see कि इस पे तो कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता है. So that kind of the statements is going on. Jayant Sinha is there, Mahesh Sharma is there, NTPC job is there, or then the Mr. Dubey is there, additional advocate Naveen Kaushik is there. So all of the people are from the government side, and they are just, and one more thing I want to mention it that I can remember the same day where Prime Minister Modi condemned the cow saver and Gau Rakshak, and then on the same day, after 2 hours, Alimuddin, the same image has been there, Alimuddin had been lynched. If you will not take the action, if you will just condemn it, that's mean Prime Minister and Home Minister on some other leaders are condemning it, and the Jayant Sinha, Mahesh Sharma, Naveen Kaushik and Dubey are promoting it. Then you will get the idea what kind of the
आनंद साहू
सवाल तो काफी एक मिनट आनंद साहू जी मुझे सवाल पूछने दीजिए. According to the Supreme Court said very clearly that the Parliament has to specifically come up with a special law to deter lynching. It was also very specific as to what this law should be. It said the law should deter lynching, it should give it a punishment, it should make sure that this sort of behavior no longer happens, it should make sure that these people are punished. So, क्या राजनाथ सिंह जी ने सुप्रीम कोर्ट का ये ऑर्डर पढ़ा ही नहीं, या उनको समझ में नहीं आया, क्या उन्होंने सोचा कि वो ऑर्डर मतलब ऐसे साइड पे रख के वो कुछ भी बोल सकते? जी,
उनको सूट नहीं करता वो.
Not only these things, the Supreme Court has specifically added one or two very technical things also. Why the government should take the help of the technology to avoid this kind of lynching. And not only this, the serious punitive action should be taken. See, government is not denying this. Already government is accepting this. But see, the gentleman he is telling now, 4 years back the lynching happened. Who was the government? Whose government was there? State government, who was there? Why did not take any action? See, gentlemen,
Mahesh Sharma was the central minister. Mahesh Sharma,
see, I will tell you.
Mr. Sahu, this is not about politics.
Come up with your point.
I am telling
come up with your point.
What is talking about?
That time the Akhilesh Yadav government was there. The lynching happened. Why did not?
Stop. I want the audience to be able to hear my voice. Can we do this, please? Alright, gentlemen, if you don't stop talking all at once, it will be a defeat of your purpose because nobody can understand what you say. Secondly, I don't care about your politics. Mr. Sahu, I don't care about the politics. I'm asking you a straightforward question. It might not have happened in the past. If previous governments have not done their job, let me promise you, that is exactly the reason why they were booted out of power in the most ungraceful manner. A party that was 100 years old lost the election in the most ungraceful manner and has lost state after state after state after state. And that's possibly because they did not do their job. Now that is Mr. Sahu, आप सुन तो लीजिए एक बार. That is not an excuse for your party to not have done its job. You currently run the central government.
No.
You run most of the states in the country. What have you done? You just said the central government has asked you said the Supreme Court has asked the central government to use technology. What technology have you used? What is your plan? What are you putting in place? How are you helping the police be better prepared? How are you taking action against those police who don't do their jobs? What is happening inside the CBI? What is happening inside the Home Ministry? This is by definition the job of the Home Ministry. What is the Home Ministry doing if not making excuses? I don't care what the previous government did because that government is not accountable to me right now. You are, for as long as you are in power. Now give me answers about what you are doing.
We are very seriously, we are acting on all these issues, and not only this.
How? What are you doing? Specifics. I want specifics.
The government of India is going to have all technology now.
No.
They are already working.
Listen.
And the many
all
places,
technology means what? Are you working on an app?
They are going to have the high
e-commerce. What is this technology you have?
For the policing, because without IT system, now we cannot find out the real culprit who is spreading the news. Many times,
Mr. Sahu, if you don't know, it is just as graceful to say that you don't know.
Where news are spreading.
You have to take action.
All right, Rohan Gupta, go ahead, please.
We are taking, we are not running away.
It is really the way BJP spokesperson is speaking for last half an hour. It is really shameful
He is not ready to take any kind of responsibility. On the other side, he is defending the whole incident. See, the basic issue here is it suits BJP. Why when Swami Agnivesh was attacked, why there is no action? Because it is done by BJP activist. How government will take action against its own worker? So there is a strong lack of intent by this government because they don't want to have effect on the vote bank politics. That's what it is. Otherwise, if you take this seriously, how dare anybody can break the law and do this kind of incidents? They are motivated to do this kind of incidents. They are given motivation. Like ministers like Jayant Sinha, they felicitate them. How can this be taken? And on the other side, Home Minister, the central Home Minister, he is shying away from his responsibility by telling that it's a state affair. No, it's not. The whole country is watching this government. The 56-inch chhati is totally ineffective.
Right. Mr. Gautam Mukherjee, would you explain to our audience what a hate crime is and how some countries in the world have specific laws against hate crime?
Well, in some of the liberal democracies in Europe, they have very elaborate laws on discrimination, hate crimes, and so forth. That everything boils down, however, to enforcement. I mean, in India, we're not lacking laws. I agree with the senior policeman there that it's not the laws as much as a deliberate looking the other way, letting these things happen. I will also agree with the Congress spokesperson that this kind of suits the BJP to not do very much about this because you can't be seen to be hitting your own people. Having said that, lip service is not going to hack it. I mean, in the Ku Klux Klan involved the chief of police and the mayor and so on, who put on their togas and went out and burned and hung black people. And it hasn't disappeared to this day. So on the one hand, you have laws and enforcement. On the other hand, you have a will which goes a certain way. I think there is a deliberate effort to menace certain people at the local level, and that is being colluded with by the authorities, and there is no getting away from it. To say I condemn and cry crocodile tears is not going to hack anything.
Well, Mr. Anand Sahu, will the government of India, the central government, put as much effort and as much diligence into this particular anti-lynching law as you did to triple talaq? Because you diligently followed it up in the Supreme Court, you diligently represented the citizens of this country, and you made sure that a bill was drafted and passed through Lok Sabha. Will you put the same level of effort into bringing in an anti-lynching law?
No. Definitely, it's like a very sad for the country, and our government is always positive to minimize all these kind of incidents, and we are going to
if that is true, can you tell me where the draft of the bill is?
About this, and we will form the government hopefully if the opposition comes in a positive way, because most of the time when what happens, D'Souza ji, I will tell you, if the government forms the law and the government gets good name, immediately they say no. It's a BJP game.
Have you written it out?
Game. So
is
BJP
there a committee working on it?
All these things. So no, this law should not
The
come
Home Minister doesn't sound like his team is working on a law.
This is the idea of opposition.
No, I don't want to hear about the opposition. I want to know if there is a draft of a law in the Home Ministry right now. Is there someone in the government working on that draft? When will it be ready? When will it be tabled? Will you be able to table it in this session of Parliament?
Our government is going to take very seriously and bring the law, and we are not going to compromise on these issues because this is a national issue. If anybody
Mr. Sahu, can I tell you all of the specifics you have given me so far? This is what you have said. The government takes it seriously. The government will formulate as soon as possible. The government will use IT. The government will use intelligence and technology. You have not given me one specific piece of information in the last 40 minutes. Anything you can tell me that the government is doing other than feeling and saying and offering condemnation. Anything at all. One piece of information you can give me on something the government has done or is doing right now or intends to do.
See, I will tell you. See, the intents how the Honorable Home Minister, he is telling that now the state government should immediately take action and central government is ready to do anything for this thing.
What is that anything?
And soon, after this all, see, we are going to bring the law.
What is the law? Where is the law? Where is the draft?
See,
who's writing it? Which ministry?
Sir,
draft
who will
is
execute
not a
the
big
law?
thing. I will tell you, the draft is not a big thing. Issue is how to pass the law immediately.
If you don't have a draft, how will you pass the law?
How to pass the law immediately.
So is the draft ready?
When we make the law,
go ahead.
immediately the opposition say no.
So,
you send it to the standing committee for the
Meher
review.
City.
They don't want to
Mr.
see the
Sahu.
law. This is the problem of the country.
Okay, you will not pass the law. We will know it very
Mr.
well.
Sahu.
Would you take any action? Would you take any action
You are
on
God,
Jayant
you
Sinha?
know everything.
Would you take any
Very
action
good.
on Nishikant Dubey?
All of you are
Would you
God.
take-
Mr.
would
Sahu,
you take any
we
action on
already
Jayant
have
Sinha?
so many
Would you
laws.
take
Are
any
they
action
being
on Nishikant
executed?
Dubey?
Is law and order
Would you-
being followed?
Would you take any action on Jayant Sinha?
All right, let's take a couple of you. John is on the phone line from Vizag. John, I know that I've made you hold the line for a very long time. I apologize.
Just come in?
One second. You can respond to what John is saying. John, go ahead.
I just heard about the condemnation and Supreme Court orders and Home Ministry. First and foremost, I have a question. My question is, in every constituency, whatever bad is happening, where are the MPs, where are the MLAs, where are the MLCs? You don't see them at all. You don't hear anything from them. Neither are they there. And we only see them once in 4 years. These people, they should be taking every month or once in 2 months, they should having meetings with the constituency and be telling them, you can't do lynching, you can't do this, you can't do that. Nothing of that happens. And everybody starts blaming the police, blaming the Supreme Court orders and things like that. This is my question. Can anybody answer me on that? If these guys cannot do their job,
I will answer. I think I should.
Because these MLAs, MPs, MLCs, they are nominated by the people.
Yes. MLAs and MPs have to answer directly to people. John is saying, one second, Mr. Sahu.
Right.
Gaurav is on the phone line from Alwar. One second, Mr. Sahu. One second.
And the judiciary reform has to be happened. We have to fast track everything. Otherwise, the things will not improve.
You're just going to continue, Anand Sahu, to say vague things. Go on, Gaurav from Alwar, please go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Sahu, please have the decency to listen to others. And my point is, like Faye, day before yesterday, you in your ending remarks said that the categorization is actually one of the reasons that the lynchings are taking place. Just a word of advice that some obnoxious politicians and also some obnoxious anchors on television are categorizing people and using some sort of unacceptable phrases like peace gang. Even I don't want to say those kind of words, and these kind of words and thus hate that the politicians spew is actually inciting the potential criminals to come out, and it gives them the legitimacy to go on and do anything to those people. And it won't be shocking for me if one day, God forbid, Shala Rashid or Umar Khalid, etc., get lynched, because these people are actually carrying the certificate of nationalism and patriotism and are just distributing to everyone, but they're not getting to the point of what the real issues are. When Shah Rukh Khan on intolerance said that, yes, in youth there is intolerance, the current UP Chief Minister said that he's talking the language of Hafiz Saeed. So this kind of mentality needs to be stopped. Like, I'm a student, and I think on 2019 I'm going to be eligible for voting, and I don't feel like voting for any politician. And maybe on a lighter note, I would say that I can do a better job than the Prime Minister, or at least the politicians that they are doing in this particular country.
Well, I just want to point out to our viewers that we've not received any sort of specific information. And I was hoping that we'd receive information, because from the very beginning, Mr. Anand Sahu has been telling us how serious the government is, how the government wants to stop this, how the government wants to, use IT, how the government wants to use technology. But other than this, there hasn't been any piece of specificity of what you are going to do. And given Mr. Rajnath Singh's statement today, it does not seem like the Home Ministry is working on a draft of a new law. Neither does it seem like the Home Ministry is working on a new police policy to make the police take this more seriously. And I'm going to take this back to Mr. L.N. Rao, former DCP Special Cell, Delhi Police. Mr. Rao, you've been listening now for over 40 minutes. Are you convinced with anything you heard? Does anything give you confidence so far that the government is serious about solving this problem?
No, not at all. It seems that government is not serious, and there should be a political will to stop this menace. Unless and until the politicians will think about to really stop this menace, it cannot happen. And apart from these politicians, then also in our society, the people should also be very much aware of all this, what is going on, and whatever our Honorable Supreme Court is directing. And unless and until there is a speedy trial, speedy investigation, and quality of investigation is there, I don't think that these things are going to only the blame game. It might be any party. I'm not concerning with BJP or Congress or any other party. All politicians, until and unless they have a strong willpower to do, and they should decide to stop this menace, because it's a blame, it's a slash on the face of our country and democracy, and this is very serious incidents, and these are required to be stopped, and any civilized society cannot accept all these nonsense. I must say it's nonsense, and
Absolutely.
Political blame game should be stopped forthwith, and the politicians should really raise to the occasion, and they should do whatever they can do it for the common man and the common society to improve our image of our country in all over India, in whole of our world.
Well, I'm going to wrap up this discussion because we've run out of time, but it simply boils down to what Mr. Rao said. Where is the political will? We haven't had any sort of strong action against this behavior. Why are we allowing it to happen? Why has there been an increase in the number of cases? We are not a country that doesn't have the power to stop this sort of thing. Of course we have the power. We can empower our police. If there are police officers who were standing alongside the lynchers, you can take action against them. Where is that action? How many convictions have we seen in these cases? Why is everything the government is telling us so vague? And the Supreme Court, the highest court of the land, has given very specific instructions to the government of India, specific instructions on what needs to be done. How can the Home Minister possibly stand up today and say we don't need to do anything? It's a state problem. It can't be a state problem. Remember the Nirbhaya case. The Nirbhaya case was such a heinous crime that the central government had to step in and revise the laws. If something is heinous enough, the central government must step in. That's what the Home Ministry is for. This is not just a small problem. This is a serious, serious problem, and it's nationwide. It's across every one of the states, which means that it falls into the purview of the central government. You must do something. You must do something to show that you are serious about this. Innocent people are dying for no reason whatsoever. Just today, someone was beaten up. And if you're going to allow this to happen, you will be sending a very strong and a very wrong message in the wrong direction. We cannot afford it. Remember that the strongest voice in this country is the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court has given you your instructions. And it is a responsibility of the government of India to follow the instructions of the Supreme Court. This statement just will not do. If there is a law you are working on, where is the draft? Which ministry is working on it? When will it be ready? Will you pass it through this particular session of Parliament? Will you fight for it? Like you have fought for other things that you believe in. If you don't, it will become obvious which side you are on the innocent side or the side of those who are currently murdering in mobs. You must make your allegiance known. Thanks for watching.